Something really popular in games right now is using hexagonal grids. I know I love them. There's something just about a hexagon that I really like how it tiles. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly how to make your own hexagon tiling system for Unity. So if I take our top-down view here and overlay some lines, what you'll see is how this grid system works. So the y coordinates are evenly spaced. However, the x coordinates are offset every other row. So the x coordinates offset depends on the y coordinate. If I just replace these with some white hexagons, this coordinate system is called offset coordinates. There are a few others. I'm going to give a link to a resource that has explanations for those. I just personally find offset the easiest to work with, so that's what I'm going to focus on. So I'm going to fill in the values and then also just apply some color so we can see the differences. And there are two orientations you can use for a hexagonal grid. In this case, this is pointy top, where you can see there's a point at the top. However, there's also flat top. The two of these, the only major difference between them is you have to swap which axis you're offsetting. So for pointy top, you need to offset the x-axis, whereas for flat top, you need to offset the y-axis. I'm going to focus on pointy top for this video, but you just have to flip which axis you're using. Now, to get the dimensions within a hex, generally when you model something like in Blender, to make a hexagon, you would do a cylinder and you would set it to 6 sides. The radius that you tell Blender will be the distance from the center to a point. So, it's easy enough to get the distance from point to point. It's just 2 times the radius. If we want to do the distance from the center to an edge, then it's 1/2 of the radius times the square root of 3. So the distance from edge to edge is simply just radius times root 3. If we want to get the corners in, say, object space, we want to actually get them individually, we need to do a little bit of trig. So we can take the unit circle here, and if we overlay it over top of our hexagon, what you'll see is that our angles line up quite nicely. So we have a 30-degree angle, a 90, a 150, 210, 270, 330. You just need to plug these angles into the cosine and the sine for the appropriate value to get a unit vector pointing in the direction of the corner, and then multiply it by the radius. If you're doing flat top, you don't want to rotate the unit circle. You'll have to use different angles. So for flat top, you would use 0, 60, 120, 180, and so on. If we make a generalized formula for this, it's going to be the radius times the cosine of theta for x, and the radius times the sine of theta for y. If we want to look at the spacing between hexes, we know that the spacing from edge to edge is going to be r root 3, so luckily the spacing from center to center is also just r root 3. The spacing for y is a little bit different. We can't go point to point for our y because these hexagons actually slot into each other a little bit, so there's some overlap in their heights. So if instead I cut this up into 4 pieces of 1/2 r each, and I get rid of the top one, what you'll see is that the center to center along y is going to be 3/2r or 1.5r. Now, to actually make these tile, it's a little bit different. While we know the spacing is r root 3 between any two hexagons, between two rows, the spacing is offset by 1/2 of r root 3. So what we need to do is we need to say that if y is even, we don't offset on x. But if y is odd, we offset on x by plus minus 1/2 of root 3. Now, when I say even y and odd y here, I'm not talking about the world space y position. I'm talking about the y coordinate in our coordinate space. Now, the y positioning is luckily very easy. That is just 1.5 times the y coordinate, 1.5r. And that'll always be the same. In the first image I showed, the y's were evenly spaced, so we don't have to worry about those. If you're doing flat top, remember, you have to swap these two axes. So these 3 values are what we need. Now let's look at some actual code. In this code here, this takes in a point in the world. In this case, I'm using it as a raycast from a camera to the mouse, and I flatten it onto the XZ plane. It takes in this point and it returns a vector2 int representing the coordinate space of that hexagon. The important thing here is that for the x offset, we need to use opposite operators for grid to world or world to grid. What I was showing before was going to be grid to world, whereas in this case, we're using world to grid. So we want to add 1/2 r times root 3. So since we're going world to grid, we need to do that. And this will let us turn any point in the world into the coordinate space position of that hexagon. If instead we wanted to go from a coordinate to a world point, we need to subtract 1/2 r root 3. So if we fed in this value here of 0, 1, well, we can figure out z easily because it's not affected. Something to keep in mind is the reason why I'm using z here is because in the world space, z is what I am trying to apply. I'm trying to make it a flat plane. So when I use a vector 2, I'm calling it y, but what I actually mean is the world z. So this is just 1.5 times the radius times coordinate.y. Radius is just 1, so it comes out to 1.5. If we go from our origin here up 1.5, we know from the spacing that's correct for this one. And then x, we need root 3 times the hex radius times the coordinate. And since the coord y is odd, we must apply the offset. So we're going to subtract 1/2 of root 3. So the first part just becomes 0, but then we need to subtract root 3 over 2, which becomes negative 0.866. And from the spacing, that's right, because we know that half of root 3 over 2 is 0.866 negative, and 1.5 up here. If you want to get the neighbors of a hexagon, you need to take into account this offset coordinate. So if, say, the tile we're checking the neighbors of is at an even y coordinate, like 0, you'll see for top left as our example, we're giving it coord.x and coord.y plus 1. So the x's are the same at 0, but the y goes from 0 to 1. However, if we look at an odd y, like 0, 1 here, then our top left needs to be x minus 1, y plus 1. So 0 minus 1, 1, 2. Now to actually get the corners of a tile, this is the function that I was showing from the sine cosine trig that we were doing before. I just wrote this out so that way if you want to, you can easily just pause the video, copy it down. This works in a clockwise fashion, and I labeled which corner each index in the array is representing. If you have a specific order you want to do, you might just have to flip this around. But this is the basic way to get it. I also assigned a distance from center to be default of the radius, but I can override it to say 0.5. It would go halfway in between the center and the corner. So you can use this for placing items if you want them to be symmetrical from the center. This is an easy way to do it, and you just have to adjust that distance from center. Almost all the information in this video came from this wonderful website by Red Blob Games. There's a ton of information on hexagonal grids and how to implement them in various languages. I would really recommend giving this a read. There's so much more information here than what I covered, but I just wanted to go over the basics. If you're curious about the other coordinate systems, they have axial as well as cube coordinates. So definitely check them out. It's a great website, but that's all I have to show. Thank you for watching.